disappointing loss starts with me. Really, we didn't find a way to execute at the level that we expect ourselves to in all three phases. Didn't play a complete game, and that continues to haunt us, for 4 quarters and execute at a high level. Right now we're playing like an average football team to below average, and it's my job to get us playing at a higher level, and we're not there right now. They took it to us. Credit goes to Tulane. And we didn't find a way to execute and do what we needed to do or come out with a W today.
Terry, first question.
How you doing, Coach?
All right, Tom.
Hey, so where do you go from here, as far as trying to get a complete game, with the few games left in the regular season?
Yeah, so with, really one game left in the regular season, my message to the guys in the locker room was real simple. I said, we can do this one way or the other, but there's only one response that the Memphis football program can have. We can sit here and point blame, right? We can blame the offense. We can blame the defense. We can blame special teams. We can blame each other. We can blame coaches. It's easy. That's what losers do. Or we can sit there and say, okay, how are we going to respond? And I told them the only response that we're going to have is pick ourselves off this mat and come out swinging because – I told them we can judge a lot of the character of not only the individuals, but of our football program by how we respond. And it's going to start with, right now in the locker room. It's going to start with tomorrow when we come back and watch film. It's going to start with how we practice, how we live. And that's ultimately what we can judge ourselves by our response. And so I said we don't necessarily need to continue to work smarter and find ways to execute at a higher level. And I'm anxious to see the response because we know we have one more opportunity, an opportunity to defend the Liberty Bowl next Saturday. And we got to continue to pour into these guys. And we're not waving a white flag and saying, okay, our season's over. No, we're going to continue to fight and swing and see what happens.
Mitch?
Coach, can you talk about the justification from the officials on that targeting call late in the game? That really seemed to be the turning point. You guys had a lot of momentum going into that, and what was the justification behind the call from the officials?
Yeah, Mitch, so they call targeting on anything where they say the crown of the helmet hits any part of the defender. So they even said if his crown of his helmet hit the guy's foot because he led in that type of tackle, it's automatic targeting. So they don't ever talk about the old helmet, the helmet adage, I guess, is not part of it. It's just, and, in reality, they even said, hey, he may have even completely missed him, but he led with it, right? They even said he may have gone underneath him on that tackle, and that's just part of it. Obviously, the safety of the student athletes is going to be the number one concern. So that was the justification, that he led with his helmet. Doesn't matter where he hits the quarterback or the defender that called himself down. That was just part of it.
All right, Ryan, you guys have tried a couple different running backs, but it just really seemed like their defensive line kind of just got the best of the offensive line. What's just been your assessment of that unit's play from today and just over the last few weeks?
Yeah, I was not pleased with the play of the offensive line, not only in the run game, but and also, giving up pressures and sacks. I've got to go back and watch the film. I know we also gave up a couple sacks where the running backs didn't do what they were supposed to. Maybe it was a quarterback read or a tight end on something else, but anytime we're ineffective in running the football, it starts up front. They had done a solid job for most of the season in pass protection. Today we got beat on the edge some. We got a couple, right guard got beat on a holding call when the guy hit his edge. So we've got to do a better job, and that's got to be on me to find a way to get that unit playing at a higher level. With one regular season game left, we're still going to preach fundamentals, and I think that's what we're seeing. A lot of this is, again, I'm going to always put it on me and us as coaches with scheme and all that. But, we got to make sure we're executing our basic fundamentals at a high level in order to give ourselves an opportunity to go out there. So, Stephen, our offensive line needs to continue to improve just like every position on our football program.
Evan?
Ryan, is there an update on the status for OB and Joseph? Obviously, Joseph left and O'Brien didn't play during the game.
Yeah, OB will reassess him and look at him this week to see if he's good to go for Houston. And then JoJo, our medical staff didn't clear him to come back in the game. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. But as of right now, I don't have an update for you.
All right, my second question too is the road. Obviously, these road games have been tough for you guys. Do you feel like the offense is more just struggling because it's playing away from home, or at this point, it's just a matter of the whole season right now has just been it's got to get in gear right now at this point?
Yeah, Evan, we can't use playing on the road as an excuse. It's just sometimes we're not in sync, right? I mean, there's times you go out there and you watch our offense, you say, man, that's one of the best offenses in the country. And then there's other times where we're not, and the inconsistencies of it is really what's hurting us. And again, I think it starts with lack of being able to run the football. I think when, everywhere I've been, when you can run the football, it really can open up a lot of stuff for you. And we haven't been able to really do that at a consistent pace much, especially these last, few games. And so that's one of those things that we just, whether it's the O-line, tight ends, running backs, receivers, but our play calling, right? Or me, I mean, it's all those things that have got to be looked at. And I know it seems like we sit here week in, week out and say, man, how can we get the run game going? And that you guys are exactly right. I think why we have some of these conversations after losses is because we're not able to execute that at a high level. And until we get that gun, we're going to struggle versus Houston if we can't run the football and whatever else may be afforded to us at the end of the year.
Ryan?
Hey, Coach, on third and short, when 1 to 3 yards, you guys throughout the year, I think there's 19 times you ran for less than a yard, but on passing, you guys are 6 of 9 for 70 yards. Any thought of being more creative on third and short, maybe play action pass to get some more yardage going?
Absolutely. I mean, it's that's what's disappointing too, right, Brian? Right? I mean, you would love to be able to just line up and just pound somebody and be able to get yourself a yard, 2 yards, and we're not able to do that. And you're exactly right. I mean, you watched in the beginning of the season, we were able to get those, you guys talked about we were 9 for 9 after whatever many games on fourth down conversions. And, we're not able to even get those short yardage. So we've been poor in that area. And, it ultimately starts with me trying to find more creative plays, better play calls with that stuff. But if we can't execute on a short yardage play where a man has to block a man and we're getting our tail kicked, then that's another issue. And there's a lot of guys that lost their one-on-one battle today. Again, ultimately, that comes down to us coaching and me coaching. But that's where it's been disappointing because you'd love to be able to sit there on third and 1 and say, okay, we can get a yard, right? My man's going to beat their man and let's roll. And we haven't been able to do that. And so, yeah, we've got maybe if I'm not going to completely ban the run game and say, well, we just can't do it and throw my hands up and say, hey, every third and, 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, whatever it may be, we got to sit there and throw it. That's not going to be the case, but whether we got to find other ways maybe to spread them out on that. I don't know. And I've got to have that answer obviously sooner than later.
All right, we'll do 2 more, starting with Clayton.
Coach, I know, in football, you always want to have the next up mentality, and it's easy to do that when it seems like every walk-on receiver you plug in, turns into a star here. But when you look at the personnel that you guys lost this year, for one reason or another, do you allow yourself to acknowledge just how difficult that task has been this year?
I don't. Am I oblivious to it, Clayton? No. I mean, we were on our third string outside linebacker in this game who ended up playing most of the game at the end. And then, we were, if you guys look when JoJo went down, and Cartwright went down for a little bit, and O'Brien not playing, well, that's you really are. We're searching for other nose guards. Almost threw a helmet on some of these other bigger guys on the sideline. And TJ Moore, I don't know how many catches he's had in his career, but he went out there and got a catch today just because at some point we had to pull Calvin off the field. So, look, is our personnel where I want it to be? No, but that's my job is to make sure we've got it psyched. But I'm not using any excuses. There's no excuses other than we've all got to find a way to continue to improve and get better.
Raven, last question.
It was clear that Calvin was Brady's top target throughout much of the game, but how did you feel that Todd stepped up when the ball did end up going his way? For example, on that third down play after Calvin was taken down and he got the ball to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Raven, Calvin continues to be clutch. But then, that's a nice thing is Taj is stepping in and being there exactly when you want him, right? I mean, it's no secret that Calvin's playing a high level, but Taj, I mean, he's there exactly when you need him. He's Mr. Reliable. He's made some great catches like you talked about. And I think game in and game out, we've seen Taj come up big on third downs. And that's when you see a receiver being targeted by a quarterback, you know he's got a lot of trust in him. With Taj being only a redshirt freshman, he's got a very, very bright future. You know, an off season with him in the weight room, continue to understand how to run the routes the right way, but pleased with his development. And I'm glad to see him continue to be a big, big part of our offense.